Hey, you! Yeah, you! Who else would I be talking to? There's nobody else in this room with you, loser. Did you know that 2011 is over and we can finally get on with the task of praying for the world to end in December? Yeah, of course you knew that. I bet you also knew that the Virtual Console had an extremely rocky year with only 17 titles. 17! That's like only having 17 classic games to play on your seriously out-of-date current generation game system. Wait, no, that's a terrible analogy. Better yet, here are the 17 best Wii Virtual Console games of 2011. That's kind of an unruly name. Maybe I can come up with something better in post. Anyway, let's start off this garbage with a pair of Double Dragon wannabes. At number 17 is Rival Turf, a shallow beat-em-up that sees a gay cop and his hipster buddy rough people up all across the city streets, parks, office buildings, you name it. Number 16 is Brawl Brothers, which is exactly like Rival Turf, only it's called Brawl Brothers and doesn't have a gay cop. Number 15 brings us Mega Man 5, a long-in-the-tooth sequel that introduced the world to Starman, Gravity Man, Crystal Man, and Euro Man. Wait, no, that's Gyro Man. Either way, by the 5th installment, this Mega Man franchise was wearing thin. At number 14, we see Natsume Championship Wrestling for the Super NES. Like many 16-bit sports games, Natsume Championship Wrestling just doesn't hold up. I quickly tired of the button mashing and repetitive matches. Old school wrestling fans may get a kick out of this pre-WWE cartridge, but everybody else should look elsewhere. Number 13 brings us Bomberman Hero, a baffling 3D adventure game that completely ditches everything we love about the pint-sized bomber. Much like the disastrous Pac-Man adventure games, this Nintendo 64 title is hard to wrap your mind around. If you're looking for a traditional Bomberman outing, then you're definitely going to want to look elsewhere. Master Higgins checks in at number 12 with Super Adventure Island. While this platformer looks good, the gameplay is floaty and the whole adventure theme felt unnecessary with New Adventure Island already out on the Virtual Console. It's not a terrible game, but this 16-bit Hudson sequel wouldn't be my first pick. Up next is Super EDF, coming in at number 11. Believe it or not, this is one of only 3 2D shoot-em-ups to hit the Virtual Console this year. This isn't a bad game, but the unspectacular level designs and power-ups certainly don't help anything. Number 11 brings us yet another shooter, Capcom's Exed Exes. This arcade hit offers solid overhead gameplay, but much like the other shooters on the Virtual Console, there isn't much here you haven't seen before. Number 9 is a genuine classic, the one shooter to buy this year if you absolutely must. It's 1942, a port of Capcom's influential arcade game. While there are better 1940X games out there, 1942 remains a classic and is one of the few reasons to turn on your Wii. Coming in at number 8 is... Wait, we're already to number 8? I was given an hour to film this whole thing, and I only have 17 games to talk about, and oh man, we're going to be done with this thing in 10 minutes. 15 tops. That reminds me. Maybe we should come up with a better name for this whole thing. The 17 game, whatever it was called. Let's think. How about this? You know, considering how bad this year has been for the Wii and the Virtual Console, maybe we should just call this thing Broken Cartridges. The final 17 Virtual Console games of all time, ranked while listening to Morrissey and crying. Yeah, I like that, but maybe it's a little too long. Back to the countdown, we have Super Adventure Island 2 coming in at number 8. Talk about a turnaround. While I may have dismissed Master Higgins' first Super NES outing, the sequel is far and away one of the best Virtual Console games of the year. It mixes role-playing game style elements with a tight platforming experience. It is a must-own. Number 7 brings us Ignition Factor, one of the very few 16-bit firefighter simulators. Here you run around a bunch of buildings, putting out fires, saving lives, and making sure that things don't go from bad to worse. The emphasis is on the action, making this surprisingly compelling, even if the subject matter feels a little flimsy at first. Up next we have Super Bonk at number 6. This Super NES game is more than just Bonk with proper 16-bit facelift. It's a brand new game that improves on the character in every way possible. From the beautiful graphics to the ingenious level designs, Super Bonk is one of the biggest surprises of the year. At number 5, we see Black Tiger, a side-scrolling action game from Capcom. Think of it as either a spiritual successor to Ghosts and Goblins, or maybe a trial run for Magic Sword. Forget another Mega Man sequel, this Virtual Console port makes a convincing argument for another Black Tiger game. Moving on, we have Faxanadu, coming in at number 4. No, it's not an Olivia Newton-John musical, it's an incredibly thoughtful experience from the people that brought you Dragon Slayer. That's Dragon's Slayer. Slayer, not the Don Bluth action game. It's, you know what? Just forget it. Just go out and buy Faxanadu. It's a forgotten gem that, you know, that was pushed all the way out at the end of the Wii's life. It's really a shame. Getting completely overshadowed by every other game. Anyway, number 3 is a personal favorite of mine. It's also a repeat on the Virtual Console. It's Ghosts and Goblins, Capcom's classic 2D side-scrolling action game. You play Sir Arthur as he tries to win back his girlfriend. Also, there's all sorts of cool ghosts to kill, and levels, and bosses, and bad guys to contend with. Plus, it has the most frustrating ending of all time. It's highly recommended. So here we are. We're at the top of the Virtual Console Game of the Year. Wait, no, that's what we should call this thing. The Wii Virtual Console Game of the Year. No, that's still a little too long. Well, maybe we'll do this. Maybe maybe the Wii Virtual Console GOTY. Yeah, that's more like it. We're at the Wii Virtual Console GOTY Deathbed Edition. Hey, cover your mouth. Now that we have a name established, let's go ahead and figure out who's going to win this son of a bitch. The top 2 games of the year both come to us from the same company, and they're honestly running neck and neck. Number 2 game of the year is Final Fantasy III, perhaps the best in Square's long-running franchise. It's one of the few games that allows you to take part in an opera, and it's not a rhythm game. Who cares if the numbering makes no sense anymore? Final Fantasy III is almost the Virtual Console's Game of the Year. That means that this year's top virtual game is none other than Chrono Trigger. By the time 1995 rolled around, Square had pretty much perfected the 16-bit role-playing game. Chrono Trigger is one of the greatest accomplishments of all time, which is why it was named the Virtual Console Game of... Wait, hang on. I'm doing a show here. Sorry about that. What? No, hang on. Can't this wait a few minutes? This is outrageous. I was promised a full hour to explain why Chrono Trigger is the game of the year and how the characters are amazing and you should just... But now I'm being crowded out by another podcast, by Blue Balls, a racquetball injury recovery podcast. I guess I'll finish this in the next video when I look at the 3DS and, hey, take your hands off this thing. Quick, doing...